Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a busy city square. All around you, people rush by, some checking their phones, some lost in conversation, others moving quickly to their destinations. The world feels fast, noisy, and overwhelming. But right there, in the middle of it all, stands one person who seems different. They're not rushing, they're not fidgeting. Their movements are calm, slow, and intentional. When they lift their head, their eyes lock directly into the camera, as if they're looking straight into your soul. Their shoulders are back, their chin is raised just enough to show quiet strength, and every step they take has purpose. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the energy shift before a single word was spoken? Maybe at school, at work, or even at a party. You noticed someone who didn't need to raise their voice or tell people who they were. They didn't even have to do much. Yet, everyone felt their presence. Eyes turned toward them, conversations paused for a moment, and somehow the air got just a little heavier. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That is body language at work. Think about it. Some people don't just enter a space, they take over the space. They don't have to scream, "Look at me." They don't have to prove themselves with loud words. Their energy does it for them. A certain way of standing, a calm smile, a longer pause before speaking. It all adds up to silent influence. And what's fascinating is this. Every one of us has the ability to unlock that same silent power. Now, here's the truth. Most people don't realize. Confidence is not only in the words you choose, it lives in your body, your posture, your movement, the way you breathe, the way you hold eye contact. These little signals tell people who you are before you even open your mouth. You might not even notice it, but others do. In fact, your body speaks louder than your words. And the crazy part is, it never stops speaking. Picture this, a person walking into a job interview. One candidate strolls in hunched over, head down, shuffling their feet, avoiding eye contact. Before they even sit down, the interviewer has already picked up on something: nervousness, insecurity, or lack of self-belief. Now, imagine the next person walking in, shoulders relaxed but straight, chin slightly lifted, steps steady. They sit down without rushing, look the interviewer in the eye, and wait calmly. Even without a single word, that second person has already communicated confidence, leadership, and authority. Confidence in body language isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's not about acting tough or faking a smile you don't feel. True, powerful body language is quiet, authentic, and natural. It's in the slow way you take up space, the unshaken eye contact you hold, and the sense of calm you carry, even when everything around you feels chaotic. This silence, this stillness, speaks louder than the noisiest person in the room. And here's the best part: you can learn it. You don't have to be born with it. You don't have to be the loudest, the tallest, or the boldest person in the room. You just have to understand the basics of how posture, movement, and stillness send messages to everyone around you. By practicing them, you build presence that people simply cannot ignore. So, in today's video, we're going to explore the art of body language. We'll talk about what makes some people magnetic, what makes others lean in, listen closer, and remember them long after they've left the room. You'll learn how tiny changes in the way you walk, stand, and look at others can completely change the impression you leave behind. By the time we're done, you'll not only understand this powerful form of nonverbal communication, you'll be ready to use it in real life. Imagine walking into a meeting, a classroom, or even a date, with the kind of presence that makes people stop and take notice. You won't have to say, "I'm confident." They'll feel it. You won't have to say, "I'm in control." They'll see it. You won't have to say, "I deserve respect." They'll give it to you without hesitation. So, are you ready to unlock the science, the psychology and the stories behind true confidence, confidence that doesn't shout but whispers powerfully. Because the secret isn't in learning how to speak better. The secret is learning how to be better. And your body language is the first door we're opening. Let's dive in. The psychology behind powerful body language. Have you ever stopped and noticed how some people seem to carry power without even saying a single word? They walk into a room and instantly people pay attention. They don't need to raise their voice. They don't need to brag. And they don't even need to move around much. Their secret isn't in what they say. It's in the way they hold themselves. Their body language speaks louder than any words ever could. Stillness paired with quiet certainty, that's what makes them stand out. Think about it for a second. The most respected leaders, celebrities, athletes, or even spiritual figures you've seen, many of them move slowly, deliberately. When they sit, they don't fidget. When they walk, their steps aren't rushed. When they look at someone, they hold eye contact without flinching. That calm presence is magnetic. People can't help but notice it. And there's a reason for this. Real power doesn't need to be loud, dramatic, or frantic. Real power often comes in the form of quiet confidence. This isn't just some modern trick. It actually goes way, way back in time, back to our evolutionary roots. Imagine ancient leaders or warriors preparing for battle. The ones who showed hesitation, twitching, or nervous movements were often seen as weak. But the ones who stood tall, chest open, unshaken by chaos, those figures commanded respect and authority before even making a move. The same principle applies in the animal kingdom. Have you ever seen how a lion stands, calm, still, majestic? It takes its time surveying everything before acting. It doesn't need to show fear or rush. It already knows it's the strongest presence in the room, or in this case, the savannah. Humans instinctively read these cues the same way. When someone takes up space, shoulders back, chin lifted, body steady, it sends a primal signal: dominance, authority, control. And when someone does the opposite, shrinking their posture, moving too fast, avoiding eye contact, it sends another signal: uncertainty, submission, or insecurity. We notice these signals instantly, even without realizing it. Your brain is constantly scanning for them. And this happens because of one tiny part of our brain, the amygdala. The amygdala is like your internal alarm system. It processes emotions, especially fear, and it makes lightning-fast judgments about the people and environments around you. When your amygdala notices someone standing tall, holding direct eye contact, or staying perfectly calm in a tense situation, it reacts immediately. It tells your body, this person is confident, this person is a leader, this person can't be ignored. And get this, sometimes the reaction looks like respect, admiration, or even intimidation. People's bodies respond before their minds even have time to think about it. This is why you've probably experienced moments when a confident person walks into a space and everyone turns their head. Conversations pause for just a second. People lean back, almost to give that person room. It's not because they demanded attention with words. It's because their body language triggered a subconscious reaction in everyone else's brain. That's biology. That's psychology. And it's powerful. Now here's what most people still don't realize. This isn't just some theory written in textbooks. It's something you can use in your own life every single day. The very simple act of adjusting your posture, standing taller, slowing down your movements, holding your ground, can completely shift how others see you. It makes you someone worth noticing, someone worth listening to, and someone worth respecting. And the beautiful part is, you don't need wealth, fame, or natural charisma to do this. You don't need a certain personality type either. What you do need is awareness, The awareness that your body is always communicating with the world around you, long before your words ever reach someone's ears. Imagine how powerful it could be if you learned to send the right signals intentionally. In the next parts of this video, we're going to dive deeper into exactly how to use these insights in real life. You'll find out how to carry yourself in conversations, interviews, meetings, or even social gatherings in a way that naturally earns attention. By mastering your body language, you unlock something most people overlook, a silent but powerful weapon, ready to help you lead, connect, and influence without ever needing to shout. So don't think of body language as just how you stand. Think of it as your invisible voice, one that speaks to the subconscious mind of everyone around you. And once you understand how to control it, you'll notice the shift. People will listen differently. They'll treat you differently. And eventually, you'll start to believe it yourself. Coming up, let's break this down step by step, so that the same invisible power you see in great leaders, celebrities, or even the lion in the wild becomes the power you naturally carry everywhere you go. Stillness over movement. Picture this for a moment. You're out in the wild watching a predator, let's say a lion or maybe even a wolf. The most dangerous animal doesn't bounce around, doesn't twitch, doesn't look nervous. No, its power comes through in the exact opposite way. It moves with calm precision. Every step is measured, slow and focused, as if every gesture is filled with intention. The predator doesn't waste energy. It doesn't need to. It knows exactly who it is and what it's capable of. Now imagine the prey, the animal being hunted. What does it look like? The prey moves nervously, darting back and forth, twitching its ears, glancing around in panic. Every movement screams insecurity. Every shaky motion broadcasts vulnerability. Even before anything happens, you can tell exactly which one is the predator and which one is the prey, just by the way they carry themselves. Here's the fascinating part. This simple contrast isn't just true in the animal kingdom. The same thing happens in human interactions every single day. When someone walks into a room and they're still calm, settled, deliberate, people notice. They don't even have to say a word. Their presence already speaks volumes. That stillness sends a powerful signal: control, authority, security. It's like their body is silently saying, I don't need to prove myself. I know exactly who I am. Now flip the script. Think of someone who can't sit still in a meeting. Maybe they're tapping their foot, adjusting their sleeves over and over, or playing with their pen. Maybe they're constantly shifting in their chair, or glancing around the room like they don't belong there. Without realizing it, their body is sending every signal of lower status. Their restless gestures reveal nerves or insecurity, even when their words are trying to say the opposite. People may not consciously point it out, but subconsciously everyone picks up on it. This is the hidden language of stillness and movement. The less you fidget, the more control you seem to have. The calmer your body, the stronger your presence feels. And whether it's a job interview, an important presentation, or even a first date, those signals matter. They shape how others see you before you even open your mouth. So what does this mean for you in everyday life? It means learning to carry your body in a way that reflects confidence and calm. Start by focusing on being relaxed but purposeful. Stand tall with your shoulders back. Keep your breathing slow and steady. And most importantly, eliminate the urge to fidget, that bouncing leg, that restless hand, that constant shifting in your seat. All of it takes away from your presence. Now, I know, it's not easy. Many of us fidget because of nerves, or just out of habit. But here's the trick. Replace nervous movements with intentional ones. If you're going to move, make sure each movement means something. For example, when you gesture with your hands while speaking, do it slowly and deliberately. When you turn your head to look at someone, Don't snap your eyes away immediately. Hold the moment. If you're walking into a room, don't rush or scurry. Walk with calm, steady steps, like you already belong there. When you master this, a powerful shift happens. Instead of your body betraying your insecurity, your body begins to project authority on your behalf. You don't need to act arrogant or pushy. Just by being still, by being precise, you radiate quiet strength. And just like the predator in the wild, you create the kind of presence that makes people pause, notice, and take you seriously. So here's the takeaway. Let others do the nervous moving. Let others tap their feet and shuffle around. Let them try to fill the silence with pointless gestures. Meanwhile, you own the silence. You own the space. Stillness doesn't mean weakness. Stillness is strength. When you move slowly, calmly, and intentionally, you send a message to everyone around you that you are secure, that you're in control, and that you don't need to prove a thing. That's the secret of true dominance in body language. Not loudness, not wild movement, just controlled stillness, steady intention, and a presence so strong it doesn't have to say a single word. Eye contact. The power gaze. Eye contact. It's one of the most underrated yet most powerful tools in body language. We all know it matters, but few people realize just how deeply it shapes the way others see us. The truth is, mastering eye contact can completely change the impression you leave in conversations, meetings, or even casual social moments. And here's the key. You don't have to stare aggressively or play mind games. Real confidence comes from creating connection, not from trying to dominate someone with your eyes. Think about the difference between two people. The first one talks but constantly glances away, down at the floor or over your shoulder. They never quite meet your eyes for longer than a second. Their words might be fine, but something about their presence feels shaky. The lack of eye contact makes you question their confidence. Now picture the second person. They speak and hold your gaze, not in a creepy or aggressive way, but steadily, like they're fully present with you. That person automatically comes across as stronger, more trustworthy, and more confident. Here's a secret that dominant and influential people understand. They don't shy away from eye contact. In fact, they tend to hold it around 70% of the time when they're speaking. That balance is important. It's not about locking eyes 100% of the time. That would feel uncomfortable and intimidating. Instead, confident people hold eye contact enough to show certainty, but they also break it at the right moments to keep things natural. It's a rhythm. Hold the gaze, then let it go. Hold it again, then let it go. This is how you show people you're engaged without overwhelming them. Now, if you've ever struggled with eye contact, there's a powerful little technique you can use to master it. It's called the triangular gaze. Here's how it works. When you're looking at someone, don't just stare into one of their eyes the whole time. Instead, shift your gaze slowly. Look at one eye, then the other, then drop your focus briefly to the mouth, before shifting back up to the eyes again. You're essentially forming a subtle triangle while you maintain eye contact. Why does this work so well? Because staring at just one spot, like one eye, can feel robotic and even unsettling. But when your gaze moves naturally in this triangular pattern, it feels alive. It makes the other person feel like they're truly being seen, not just stared at. You come across as engaging, warm, confident, and present, all at the same time. Here's a quick example. Imagine you're in a serious meeting, presenting an idea. You look at one person directly, hold eye contact for a few seconds, use the triangular gaze to keep it flowing, and then glance calmly at others before looking back. With every person you connect this way, your influence grows. Compare that to someone who keeps staring at the ceiling, the table, or their notes. They lose attention before they've even finished their point. And this doesn't only apply to professional settings. Eye contact is just as powerful in day-to-day life, at a dinner table, on a date, even during a casual conversation with a friend. When you use your eyes with intention, people naturally lean toward you. They feel more at ease, more respected, and more interested in what you have to say. Some people worry, what if making eye contact makes me look too intense? And that's a fair concern. But here's the truth. Intensity only happens when there's no balance. If you stare too hard without breaks, yes, it feels threatening. But when you use the right amount around that 70% mark, it shows confidence without crossing the line into intimidation. It's like saying with your eyes, I'm here, I value this moment, I'm confident in what I'm sharing. And here's the amazing part. Once you start practicing, something shifts, not only in how people see you, but in how you feel about yourself. The more you hold confident eye contact, the more grounded and composed you begin to feel inside. It becomes a feedback loop. Stronger presence on the outside builds stronger belief on the inside. So remember this. When it comes to body language, your eyes are one of the most powerful weapons you have. Learn the triangular gaze. Practice holding eye contact around 70% of the time when you speak. And above all, stay calm and natural while you do it. You'll be amazed at how quickly people begin responding differently, leaning in, listening closer, and respecting your presence on a much deeper level. When you master this power gaze, something almost magical happens. People don't just hear your words, they feel your confidence. They see you as someone steady, strong, and secure, and often, without even realizing why, they're drawn to you. That's the kind of quiet power eye contact gives you. Silent, simple, but impossible to ignore. Facial neutrality. Let's talk about something most people never even notice. But once you do, it changes the way you carry yourself completely. One of the most underrated but incredibly powerful signals of dominance is facial neutrality. This might sound simple, but it's actually one of the strongest ways you can project control in any situation. Think about some of the most unforgettable characters in movies or television. James Bond, for example. No matter how chaotic the scene gets, bullets flying, cars flipping over, enemies right in front of him, his face never cracks with panic. He doesn't overreact. His expressions stay calm, collected, even slightly unreadable. Or picture a mafia boss in a tense movie scene. Everyone else in the room might be anxious, sweating, shouting, or pleading. But the boss, he stays still. His face reveals almost nothing. Maybe just the tiniest smirk or a slow raise of the eyebrow. That's it. Why does this hit us so strongly? Because a neutral face under pressure sends one very clear and powerful message. I am in control. No matter what's happening around you, your calm expression shows dominance. It communicates that you're not being shaken or thrown off balance, even when chaos is swirling all around. On the other hand, when people let every emotion spill across their face, fear, panic, irritation, or desperation, it shows they don't have control of themselves, and by extension, they're not the ones holding power in that moment. Here's what makes facial neutrality so effective. It prevents others from reading you too easily. Humans are wired to look at faces first. We try to decode emotions, moods, and intentions almost instantly. If you walk into a meeting full of pressure and your face already shows nerves, you've given the other side information they can use against you. If you're in a negotiation and your face shifts, revealing anxiety, the other person knows they've hit a weak spot. But when your face remains neutral, calm, steady, controlled, you suddenly become unpredictable. That unpredictability gives you the upper hand. Now, let's clear something up. Neutrality of expression does not mean being emotionless or cold, like a robot. This isn't about shutting yourself down completely. Instead, it's about mastering your expressions so they only work for you, not against you. You don't have to smile at everything nervously. You don't have to frown the second you're stressed. You don't have to let your face tell the entire story. By holding neutral control, you're choosing what tiny hints, what micro-expressions you allow others to see. That's self-mastery, and people can sense it. Imagine this in action. You're in a heated argument, and everyone else is raising their voice, their face flushed red, expressions exaggerated with anger. But you breathe calmly, keep your face relaxed, and wait. Instantly, you stand out as the one with control. Or think about standing in front of a crowd giving a speech. Your heart might be racing, but if your face stays calm, shoulders relaxed, eyes steady, your audience reads confidence. They trust you more because you look unshaken. So how do you practice this? Start small. Watch yourself in the mirror when you talk or react. Notice if your eyebrows shoot up right away when you're surprised, or if your mouth tightens instantly with stress. Next, slow your reactions down. Instead of showing a big facial response, try holding a calm gaze, relaxing your jaw, and softening your features slightly. Learn to hold your lips and eyes steady, even when your emotions are racing on the inside. Over time, this practice rewires your body to stay calm in real-life moments. The big benefit here is that mastering facial neutrality makes you appear unshakable. Whether you're in a job interview, a tense negotiation, or even social situations like dealing with rude people, you project one thing: control. And when others sense that they can't read you easily, they instinctively see you as the person with more power in the room. So remember this: your face is like a billboard, constantly broadcasting messages to the world. But the strongest leaders, the most dominant personalities, the people who never get overlooked, they know when to keep that billboard calm and blank. They let silence and neutrality do the talking, and that's what makes everyone else lean in with respect. Facial neutrality is not about shutting down emotions, it's about controlling them. It's about holding yourself like James Bond in the middle of chaos, or like the quiet boss of the room who doesn't need to prove anything. Master this, and you'll find that people respond differently to you. They'll listen closer, they'll treat you with deeper respect, and most importantly, they'll know without a doubt that you're the one in control. Posture and spatial ownership. Posture. It might seem like a small detail, but in reality, it's the silent power broker of your body language. The moment you change your posture, you change the way people see you, and even more importantly, you change the way you feel about yourself. Imagine standing tall, your spine upright, shoulders relaxed but open, and your chin lifted just slightly. Instantly, you look more put together. Instantly, you project confidence and control. What's beautiful about posture is that it doesn't take years to learn. It's something you can shift in mere seconds, and the impact is enormous. Think about walking into a room with hunched shoulders, eyes toward the ground, and small, hesitant steps. Without meaning to, you've already sent a message: insecurity, low energy, uncertainty. People feel it immediately. Now flip the image. Picture yourself walking into the same room, but this time your chest is open, your shoulders back, your head lifted, and your pace slower, more deliberate. You don't need to announce yourself. You don't need to say, "I deserve to be here." Your body already did the talking for you. This is the secret of every dominant presence you've ever observed. Confident people own their space. They don't hide in the corner or shrink themselves down. They make their bodies fit naturally into whatever environment they're in by claiming physical territory. Notice how they drape their arms casually on the armrest of a chair, how they stand with legs slightly apart, taking up space without apology. Nothing about their posture looks rushed or cramped. Their movements are expanded, slow and purposeful. It's as if their body is silently saying, "This is my space. I belong here. I don't need permission." Now, here's something most people don't realize. When you enter a room, people start reading you before you ever say a word. They notice how fast you walk, how you carry your shoulders, whether your head is lowered or lifted, and based on these small cues, they make snap judgments about your confidence, your status, even your authority. If you rush in frantically, sit down too quickly, or fidget nervously, you instantly lower your perceived presence. But when you move slowly and hold yourself with ease, people instinctively give you more respect. This is why posture is so powerful. It's not just about your spine or your stance. What you're really doing is shaping how the entire room receives you. The way you stand, sit, and move can either shrink your importance or magnify it. When your posture is strong, you leave a lasting impression, often before you've spoken your first sentence. Let's go deeper. Picture a leader entering a room full of people. They don't rush to shake hands with everyone at once. They don't dart around nervously. Instead, they enter slowly, look around with calm confidence, and take their place in the room as if they already belong. That very act is what we call owning the space. You can almost feel everyone's energy shift toward them. This is not an accident, it's intentional. Their body language commands attention because every movement is minimal but meaningful. Here's the bonus you can start practicing today. Dominating a space without saying a single word is all about how you take up space physically. Stand tall. Keep your body open and expansive. Limit your fidgeting. Instead of moving constantly, let stillness do the heavy lifting. When you do move, make it slow and deliberate. Whether you're turning your head, adjusting your arm, or walking across the floor. These small details are like signals to everyone watching. They tell people that you're calm, centered, and fully in control. And here's the surprising payoff. The more you practice claiming space with posture, the better you actually feel inside. Your brain starts sending signals back to your body, reinforcing feelings of confidence, calm, and self-assurance. In other words, posture doesn't just change how other people see you, it also changes how you see yourself. Each time you enter a room this way, your presence grows stronger, and so does your self-belief. So never underestimate the silent language of posture. When done right, it allows you to dominate a room without uttering a single word. It makes people turn their heads, lean in, and notice you before the introductions even begin. Open shoulders, upright spine, calm movements. That's your toolkit. That's your silent confidence. And once you learn to use it, you won't just take up space, you'll own it. The dark side. Using silence and presence as weapons. There's a hidden strength that most people overlook. It's not in flashy gestures, it's not in talking the loudest, and it's not in trying to dominate every moment of attention. This hidden strength is silence. True power often reveals itself not in the words we speak, but in the spaces between them. Some of the most commanding people don't feel the need to constantly fill the air with noise. Instead, they carefully master the art of saying less, and in doing so, they make everyone lean in. Picture this. You're in a conversation, maybe even a debate. The average person reacts quickly, eager to respond, cutting in with words to prove their point. Their nervous energy gives away everything they're feeling. Now imagine someone else in that same conversation. The person who takes their time. They don't rush to reply. They pause. Maybe it's just a slow blink, a calm inhale, or a deliberate stillness before they answer. That delay, that pause, changes the entire dynamic. Everyone starts paying closer attention. The silence builds magnetic tension, and suddenly when they do speak, their words carry twice the impact. This works because silence is not emptiness, it's presence. When you hold back, when you choose not to rush, you send an unspoken message. I'm in control. I don't need to prove myself. The effect is powerful. People lean forward, their curiosity sparked. They wonder what you'll say next. They feel compelled to listen more closely because silence and stillness naturally create importance. Let's break this down. Speaking slower and less is often misunderstood. Some people think it makes you look shy or weak. In reality, it's exactly the opposite when done with confidence. Speaking with patience, in a deliberate rhythm, is one of the strongest ways to command a room. Every word lands with purpose. Every pause feels intentional, and those pauses, those silences, allow your message to sink in more deeply than if you had just rushed through. Think of a great speaker, storyteller, or even a leader. They know that silence is not the absence of sound, it's the space that gives their words weight. Now imagine applying this in your daily life. During a presentation, instead of nervously racing through your points, you slow down, you deliver a statement, and then you pause. The silence makes your audience sit with it, process it, and truly feel its meaning. Or in a negotiation, instead of instantly agreeing, you take a moment. You look calm, collected, almost unreadable. The other side begins to question themselves because your silence forces them to fill the gap. That is influence. This also extends far beyond words. It's in your physical reactions, your body language, your expressions. The slower and more measured your responses are, the more mysterious and controlled you appear. A slow turn of the head, a calm sip of water before responding, a steady breath before answering a tough question. All of it communicates one simple truth. You are not shaken, you are not rushed, and you are not desperate to prove yourself. And here's the most intriguing part. Being unreadable is the ultimate form of silent dominance. When people can't predict your next move, they become more cautious. They watch you more closely because you're not giving away every thought or emotion through nervous chatter or anxious reactions. Instead, you hold your ground with calm composure. That unpredictability adds an aura, an energy that makes people treat you with respect, even if they don't fully understand why. There's almost a dark power to this. The less you reveal, the more others want to know. The steadier you remain, the more others wonder what you're thinking. The more unpredictable your rhythm, the more people feel drawn toward your presence. This doesn't mean being unfriendly or cold. It simply means mastering your energy so you create suspense instead of chasing attention. It's a form of power that is subtle, silent, but impossible to ignore. So remember this. Don't feel pressured to always respond quickly. Don't mistake silence for weakness. In fact, if you want to leave a mark, slow down, speak with patience. Let your pauses carry meaning. Use your reactions sparingly. By doing so, you create an aura of control, clarity, and undeniable authority. The art of silence is one of the most underrated and unstoppable forms of body language. It's the reason certain people can walk into a room, say very little, and still dominate every interaction. It's not about volume. It's not about speed. It's about presence. And once you learn to use silence as your tool, people won't just hear you, they'll feel you. Subtle moves that change how people perceive you. Sometimes it's not the big, obvious moves that shape how others see us. It's the subtle details, the tiny signals that end up making the biggest difference. You might not even notice them in the moment, but everyone around you does. And those little gestures can decide whether you come across as nervous and insecure or calm, confident, and in control. One of the most underrated power signals is something so small you probably never thought about it. The slow blink. Most of us blink quickly, and often, especially when we're nervous or under pressure. But when you slow down your blinking, everything changes. Suddenly, it looks and feels like you're moving at a different pace than the rest of the room. It's almost as if you're slowing down time itself. That slow blink communicates calmness, control, and patience. It silently says, "I'm not worried, I'm not rushed. I'm here, fully present. Think about it. Have you ever seen a leader, celebrity, or even a movie villain who seems unshakable? Watch closely. Their eyes rarely dart around nervously. Their expressions stay steady, and when they blink, it's slow and intentional, almost like they're signaling that nothing can throw them off balance. That's the type of aura a slow blink creates. It's subtle, but extremely powerful. Now, let's talk about another secret weapon: mirroring. This is the natural act of copying someone else's body language, leaning back when they lean back, folding your arms when they fold theirs, or matching their tone and pace. Here's the thing: humans are wired to like people who are similar to them. So when you subtly mirror someone's movements, you create instant connection and trust without saying a word. It makes them feel comfortable, understood, even closer to you. But here's the twist that most people miss. If you only mirror, you're blending in. To stand out as a leader, you need to break the mirror at the right time. That means, once you've built rapport by mirroring, you shift your body language just slightly in a new direction. For example, if someone is sitting back and you've mirrored them for a while, lean forward when you make your next point. Subconsciously, they'll often follow your lead. That small break signals that you're not just a follower, you're the one setting the pace. That's subtle dominance. At the same time, it's important to avoid certain gestures that send the wrong signals. For instance, constantly touching your neck, face, or hair tells people without words that you're nervous or insecure. These little self-soothing behaviors reveal anxiety, even if you're saying confident things with your mouth. So if you want to project strength, keep your hands away from your face. Instead, let your hands rest naturally by your sides, or use them for calm, purposeful gestures when you want to highlight a point. Now here's one more advanced move that adds intrigue to your presence: using angles. Most people stand or sit squarely facing whoever they're with. That's neutral, and it can even seem overly submissive in certain situations. But if you slightly turn your body, just a bit off-center, you instantly create a sense of mystery. By not giving full access to your body or attention, you make yourself seem less available, more selective. It invites curiosity. It makes people lean in to earn more of your attention. For example, turning just a little away during a conversation can suggest independence and give your presence a subtle edge. When you combine these smaller techniques, slow blinking, mirroring, then breaking the mirror, avoiding weak gestures, and playing with angles, you start creating a complete picture of confidence that others feel but can't quite explain. They'll notice your calm, they'll notice your control, and they'll notice that something about you feels just a step above ordinary. So much of body language power isn't about being loud or dramatic. It's about those invisible signals, the ones others pick up without even knowing why. And when you master them, you're able to communicate strength, respect, intrigue, and dominance without uttering a single extra word. Real-life applications. Now that you understand the core pillars of dominant body language, it's time to put them into action. Theory is good, but true power doesn't live in ideas. Real influence shows up when you apply these techniques in everyday life. Because here's the truth: dominance in body language isn't about looking cool. It's about creating an effect. It's about how people see you, how they feel around you, and how they respond to your presence without you needing to force a thing. Let's start with one of the most common high-pressure situations: the job interview. Long before you start answering questions about your skills or experience, you're already being judged the second you walk through the door. This is where your body language becomes your secret weapon. Walk in with calm confidence. Don't rush or fumble your entrance. Move slowly, with steady steps, like you already belong there. As you sit down, hold steady eye contact, about 70% of the time, without staring aggressively. Keep your posture upright and relaxed. Shoulders back, chin level. This silent assurance tells the interviewer, I'm capable, I'm confident, I'm ready to lead. And here's what's fascinating. Even before they process what you're saying, they've already decided you have authority. That's how powerful these signals are. Now, think about something more personal. A first date. You may not realize it, but your body language shapes their impression of you more than your words ever could. If you look nervous, fidget constantly, or avoid eye contact, they pick up on it instantly. But when you use controlled facial expressions, calm, neutral, just enough to show interest without overreacting, you automatically appear more grounded. Add in the power gaze, steady, warm eye contact with that triangular movement between the eyes and mouth. Top it off with relaxed posture, chest open, arms loose but confident, no nervous self-touching. Suddenly, the message you're sending is, I'm comfortable in my own skin, and that energy invites deeper connection, even attraction, without ever seeming desperate. The same rules apply when you're walking into any room, whether it's a conference, a classroom, or even a party. The first few seconds decide how people see you. Most people rush in, chatter nervously, or cling to distractions like their phone. But dominant body language flips that on its head. When you enter, slow down your steps. Pause for a brief moment to take in the room. Keep your shoulders rolled back and resist the urge to fidget or move too fast. Take up space, legs slightly apart if you're standing, arms aware but relaxed instead of tucked in tightly. Then hold stillness. This makes people notice you instinctively. And here's the secret: that silence, that calm presence will say more about you than any loud introduction ever could. But maybe the most important place to apply these pillars is during conflict. Whether it's a heated argument, a tense workplace debate, or even a personal confrontation, body language determines who controls the dynamic. When emotions rise, most people leak their power by exploding, raising their voice, tensing up, or letting their face reveal anger or frustration. But true dominance is about keeping control. In those moments, maintain your strong posture. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. Hold your facial neutrality, no exaggerated eye rolls, no nervous grimaces. And when you respond, do it slowly and deliberately. Even a pause before speaking adds weight. By doing this, you send a clear signal. I am calm, I am composed, I am not shaken. This quiet dominance forces others to rethink challenging you, because your stillness and control show them that you cannot be easily rattled. Here's the big picture. Dominance in body language is not about arrogance or intimidation. It's not about trying to scare people or act like you're better than them. True presence is about being so calm, so collected, and so steady that people feel your power without you having to force it. And the beauty is, this works anywhere in professional life, in personal relationships, in social settings, or in moments of pressure. So remember these keys. Claim your posture, master your facial expressions, control your movements, let silence work for you, and use your eyes with intention. Put them into practice in real situations, and you'll notice the shift immediately. People will listen differently. They'll treat you differently. They'll respect you more. Because at the end of the day, dominance isn't set about shouting louder or taking more space. It's set about living in a way where every gesture, every pause, every breath tells the world the same thing. I set 'em here, I belong, and I am in control. Conclusion and challenge. Remember this: true power isn't about being the loudest voice in the room or the flashiest person at the table. Real power is quieter, it's controlled, it's steady, and it's intentional. The people we describe as unforgettable don't demand attention. They attract it. They use their body language, their stillness, and their presence to communicate something far stronger than words ever could. When you master your body language, you transform the way the world responds to you. Your voice doesn't just get heard louder, it resonates deeper. Your presence doesn't just take up space, it lingers. Even after you've left the room, people remember the calm authority you carried. This is the kind of confidence that doesn't fade, because it doesn't depend on shouting for attention. It depends on knowing who you are and letting your body communicate it naturally. So here's your challenge. Don't try to do everything at once. Instead, pick just one of the techniques we've covered today and practice it in public. It could be holding your eye contact a little longer than usual, making sure you don't glance away too quickly. It could be slowing down your speech, letting pauses give weight to your words instead of rushing through. Or maybe you simply slow your walk, taking calm, steady steps as you move through a space, owning the ground you walk on without needing to say a word. What matters most is this. Pay attention to how it feels. Notice the difference in how the room responds to you. Do people look at you more? Do they listen closer? Do you feel more steady inside yourself? Body language doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And before long, this won't feel like a trick. It will feel like who you are. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know which body language technique made the biggest impact on your energy today. Was it eye contact? Was it posture? Was it your pace? Or your silence? Share your story, because your experience might be the spark that inspires someone else in this community to step into their own power as well. And remember, this journey isn't about pretending or faking confidence. It's about uncovering the strength that's already within you and letting your body show it before you even speak. Every small step you take adds up. Every pause, every stillness, every slow blink, every deliberate movement, little by little, you are shaping the way the world experiences you. So start today. Practice one shift, carry yourself with intention, and watch what happens when your presence speaks louder than your words ever could. Because once you truly master your body language, you don't just capture attention, you leave a mark. One that people remember, one that people respect, one that makes you unforgettable.